Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yes, the African Fighters Gang is back. Today is a special episode. Hey, Jibril from the African Fighters. I don't even know why I'm not doing my regular catchphrase. But anyways, before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, special episode. I've got Ebuka the Tycoon with me, you know, the regular businessman that is always here dropping dimes. And ladies and gentlemen, President Israel Adesanya Fan Club, all the way from London, England, Ademola Odewade. And lest I forget, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Tolefe from Borough, from Middlesbrough, finally got his internet rights to join us. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest. And our special guest is cooking. He is cooking all the way from Zimbabwe to South Africa and now a resident in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, Themba Gorimbo is going to join us in just a little moment. But before he does, I'm just going to check in with the gang. Yo, how's the weekend going, my guys? Let me start with Demola. How is it going down there in London?
It's a great weekend. Of course, you know, we were live at the O2 Arena yesterday, myself and the Tycoon, and it was a great night of fights. It's different. It's a different feel, you know, watching it live. And of course, we did make some money, you know, on the money line.
Yeah, I can tell from the look of in Mark's face. Mark Tolefe is looking like he's jealous of you guys. Hey, because again, if you did not hear for the people in the back, Ademola Odewade and Ebuka the Tycoon were live at the O2 Arena last night to watch UFC in London, and that satisfying loss by Leon Edwards. If in case you don't get it, all four of us are Nigerians, and that automatically means that we are not fans of Leon Edwards because of what he did to our boy Kamaru Usman.
I am telling you.
So Ebuka, how satisfying was it for you, Ebuka, to see Leon Edwards get submitted like that?
Say, if you no get evidence,
you not
talk. Get evidence, say, you go explain tire. I get evidence.
Wait. If you are joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we know the traffic is directed towards us is from Themba Gorimbo. So you are going to see Themba in a moment. Themba is cooking and he's going to be done very, very soon. We are just awaiting the eagle to land. Thank you very much. This is the African Fighters Podcast. This is where we talk all things Africans in combat sports. As long as you are flying an African flag and we see you, we'll talk about you. And as usual, please do hit the like button. I can see we have close to 100 people right now. Hit the like button. We really, really appreciate it. Sometime in the show, we are going to open to Q&A to the audience to ask questions, and Themba would kindly answer those questions. And super chats are open. Ladies and gentlemen, please do drop some super chats if you don't mind. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I was telling you, the eagle has landed. And the eagle is about to be rolled out. And before we do, as you know, as a ritual here, we always dish out 5 bottles of Hennessy. 5 bottles of Hennessy for the answer.
What's up, my brother? How are you?
Is there one for the DJ, one for the headman? Is there one for the staff? 2 for in table.
You guys good?
Yes, so Themba,
Yes,
Themba. Yo, Themba, thank you so much. We see the numbers coming in. It's like you've done the Lord's work on Facebook. Your fans are out here. And as I told them earlier, we're going to have a chat with you. And later on the show, we'll open up for Q&A and then answer their questions. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you feeling, my brother? Where are you? Are you in Las Vegas? Are you in Miami? Where are you?
I'm in Las Vegas currently. How are you guys doing? Are you guys good? Sorry, I'm trying to look at myself in the mirror, in the camera, to see if I'm looking, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we have any Congolese in the house, you'll be happy to know that Themba is currently with one of or if not, actually, the only Congolese right now I can think of currently signed in the UFC, Josiah Musasa, is currently with Themba.
Yeah, he's cooking bombs here. I'm watching him cooking. That's why I was delayed. Sorry. You know, I told you. Because I'm not trusting what is Josiah is cooking here. I don't know,
Hey,
eh?
yes,
You
a
have
lot
cooked
of
before? I don't know, eh? You cook before? I don't know, bro. I will just wait for the food to be fine. Let's see.
all right, all right, all right. Thank you again, Themba. I guess we haven't connected with you on this platform in a while, and that's like pre your last fight with Vicente Luque. Obviously, we know how that fight went, and you've already given. God, Themba adding a bit of humor all the time.
I
Uh,
went to sleep.
all right. I don't know how to respond to that. Uh, um, yeah. So we know how that went. However, a lot of people, or a lot of us, and your fans as well, were concerned. What is going to be the next step? We heard a lot of people saying Themba should move to middleweight. Themba as well, maybe wade in a little bit on that as well, or Themba should move down a weight class. Themba, is welterweight the weight class you want to be in right now?
I mean, I'm a very good waterweight. Losing to Luke does not define that I'm a bad waterweight. I lost to Luke. I took the fight on short notice. I made the weight. I took the fight stupidly though because I was injured when I took the fight. But you know, we are in a division where it's it's so hard to get in the ranking in the waterweights. Even like you have guys like Brian Beto who are on a like long fight winning streak, but they're not getting ranked. So when the opportunity came that, hey, do you want to fight Luke 7 December? And I literally was, when they called me, I was on what do you call this bed, man? At a doctor's appointment for my ankle, and I was injured. So when my manager messaged me about it, I said yes, and I told him that I wanted to take the fight, but I had the injury that I didn't tell him about because I knew that the fight was going to not happen, but the injury was a bad injury that I'm still like healing from the injury right now. That's why you see I've not been booked for a fight. They wanted me to fight in May, but I was not cleared by the doctors to fight in May. My injury still. This coming week that we're going is my last week of doing extensive rehab. Of course, you see the videos of me training and stuff like that, but I'm not actually
Mm.
training at 100%. So once I can be able to train at 100%, I will be able to do everything. Like I'm still doing sparring and everything, but I'm
Yeah.
not. Nothing I'm doing is 100%. Like literally, I'm just doing to just make
Mm.
sure my mental health is okay, and
Yeah.
I'm moving in the right direction. Because if I don't
Yeah.
train,
So
I
as
get yeah,
I understand what you've been always a fighter. The mentality is always going to be there.
yeah.
Yeah, as you are healing right now, Temba, you did say expectations were for you to fight in May, and I believe that would be like going like towards half of the year. So when should I'm sure every Zimbabwean person here in the live chat would want to know when should we expect Temba back? Are we looking at towards the end of this year, or is it even next year?
No, no, no.
Uh,
I'll be back. I'll
yeah.
be back in June. I'm fighting in June.
Mm,
Not I'll be back in June or not thinking XYZ. I'm fighting in June, just depending on which card.
mm,
Um, I'm fighting on. I'm sure in the next few days I will know which card I'm fighting. I'm fighting on. It's either end of June or beginning of June. We'll see. But
all
I
right.
am fighting in June. Um, so there's a card on the 7th of June that is Newark, UFC 316, if I'm not
Mm,
mistaken. Then UFC 317, the International Fight Week, that is
mm,
28th of June.
mm.
Then there is also a card on the 14th in Atlanta, and then Azerbaijan. So definitely I'm not going to
Yo,
Azerbaijan.
oh come on, man, why?
No. Uh, I'm not going to go outside of America as yeah, like if I'm going outside of America, I was supposed to fight
Yes.
in the card I wanted to fight was Qatar.
Oh
But
yeah.
the Qatar card was moved, so
Mm.
yeah, I'm fighting in June. That's what I know right now, and I just I think I'll know. I'll know in the next few days that
Yeah, ladies and
which.
gentlemen, yeah, you've heard it here. Themba is likely going to come back in June. Nothing confirmed yet, but he's quite optimistic it's going to be in June. I want to
Yeah,
pass
no.
to
I know. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. It's not optimistic. I am sure I'm fighting in June.
okay, okay.
Yeah, I just
I
can't
think
say more, but yeah, I am fighting in June, and I
okay.
even know. I think I know who I'm fighting, but let's see.
Well, okay, Themba, we'll talk about this when the stream is off. Yeah. All right. I'm going to throw somebody under the bus now. Okay. Ebuka is
Uh-huh.
a massive fan of you, and this is Ebuka. Ebuka, our
Uh-huh.
friend. And Ebuka, since I told Ebuka was supposed to be on a night shift today working. And then I said, Themba is coming. Ebuka cancelled the job today. He
He
said he
canceled his
must.
job.
Nice one.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Ebuka,
Why?
Ebuka, here is Themba. You
Big
can ask him a question.
Themba, this is the first
Yeah.
time we're actually interacting, face to face, if I must say. About your last fight, yeah, I think you're right there. Losses do not define you. You are an inspiration to a lot of African kids. Your story is amazing, it's awesome, and well done for everything. And I know that definitely you're going to get back to the win color in your next fight. And I'm wishing you the best of recovery from your injury, and looking forward to the next fight. So one question I want to ask you is, obviously, where we're from, Africans, we understand the situation, and you're one of the examples that if you work hard, right, you're a proof, you're living proof that if someone works hard on something, they're going to achieve. And I know you're still on your journey, but the inspiration. So, what is it that you can share? What's the best thing that fighting have taught you? Just speak directly to a lot of the kids in Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Congo, whatever.
Um,
What is it
I
that
mean,
taught you?
one thing I know for sure is that as a fighter, you need to. The most important thing that comes to my mind that I think I did a little bit different than others that are maybe even perceived to be better fighters than I am that didn't or that haven't made it to the UFC yet is sacrificing and not put value in money. Um, yeah, sacrificing is the most important thing because I feel like you have to work hard. Everybody does that, and there's things that will differentiate you from the rest. And I think sacrificing everything for one goal is the most important thing that made me to be here where I am to be in the UFC. And because if I didn't do that, if I didn't take a chance on myself and sacrifice on certain things, I wouldn't be here right now because like I go to the UFC in my 30s, and I knew when I lost in Abu Dhabi when UFC had told me that if I had won my fight in Abu Dhabi, I was gonna get signed. I was supposed to be signed straight from the EFC, but then COVID happened. But then I paid my own flights to go to fight in Abu Dhabi. But one thing I always do is when I did these things, paying my flights to go to Abu Dhabi to try and get on a show where the UFC brass will be there, I always let the matchmaker know. That is Mr. Sean Shabi. I always told him that, hey man, Sean, I am going to Abu Dhabi. I'm gonna fight. I told him this. I'm going to fight. This is my flights. I'm paying my own flights. I'm going there. I want to fight so that you can see I can win fights outside of Africa. Hopefully you can sign me. So I always notified the matchmaker all the time when I did these things. And then when I came to fight in New Orleans, I did the same thing. Um, Came here, sacrificed, paid my own flights. I can't remember how much I got paid, but I know that whatever I got paid was less than what I spent to come and fight in America with my coach and stayed in the hotel and everything. On a local show too. Um, Won the fight, great, but you know, I was not really paid for that fight. I sacrificed the last two fights of my career before I go to the UFC. I literally sacrificed everything in positions where I could not have had to do that because I was in tight situations financially, but I took the last sense that I could have that, what, I'm gonna sacrifice this. Maybe this works out, this doesn't. And I think if you sacrifice and you don't put value too much on money, and you go after it and you empty your tank, you're gonna get somewhere that you want in life. And that's the same thing I do here. And this is the advice
Yeah.
I would give. I would give anybody out there, this because this is the difference. And the other thing that I would give is that nobody's gonna come out there to save you. People will promise you 20,000 things to say they'll do this for you, they'll do that for you, especially the kids in Africa. One thing that I will tell them, yes, there is people that can do this, but yourself, you have to put yourself forward. You have to put yourself first. You have to, you have to be out there. You have to be outspoken. You have to say things that may not seem to be so comfortable to say, like being broke. No problem. Just be yourself.
Mhm.
Do, because you know what, the
Yeah.
world is full of people that fake their lifestyles, fake how they
Yeah.
are in terms of like thing. And there's someone out there that may take inspiration from you just because you are being
Yep.
open to who you are. And this is my advice. Like, if you want to make it to the UFC as an athlete, of course you have to be a good fighter. And the second thing is, like, now it's about entertainment. If you cannot entertain with your fist, entertain with your mouth. If you cannot entertain with your mouth, then you have to have some sort of, and you don't have to create anything, but you have to. I'm blessed enough that my story creates itself as I go with my career,
Mm.
but you have to have something that a lot of people can resonate with. Like
Relate
for
with,
me,
yeah.
yeah, they can relate with, because that's how the
Mm.
business of fighting is. Like, people would tune in to watch me fight because they feel like, oh, is Temba fighting today? Oh shit, I want Temba to fight to win. Like the guys in America, when I walked from the thing yesterday when I was at the
Mm.
restaurant, the other guy came to me, he's like, "Oh, you're Temba, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, bro, I respect you so much." The guy does not even know me, but it's because
Mm.
they feel like they can relate, because they come from nothing. He started telling me his story where he came from Philippines
Yeah.
with nothing to something. And you
Yeah.
don't have to be like everybody else. Tell your story the way you want it to be told. People can try to paint a
Yeah.
narrative on you, but
Can I
tell
can
your
I can,
story.
can I
And
can I interject? Speaking about story, yeah, this is not part of our regular schedule today. I just feel like I have
uh-huh,
to ask this question. There's
uh-huh,
something called Seven Box Production.
yeah,
Okay, a lot a lot of people here probably don't know what it is, and that is the film company or the movie company that, if you will, of doing the Rock Johnson. And those are the
hmm
guys that actually run all his movies right now, all his stories, documentaries, and all of that. Temba, have you had a conversation with these guys to tell your story yet? Or is this something that we are looking in the pipeline? Or is there an NDA that was signed somewhere?
look, for me, yeah, I have to pick my words. But like, what I would say to you is, like, I've had many, 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 many people, many companies here in America reaching out, and they want to work with me, but, like, uh, I'm here and people know me more because of one person, that is The Rock. And
Absolutely.
for me now, I'm not focused on telling my story to anybody. I'm just focused
Mm,
on my career, that is to become a champion in the UFC.
mm,
Might look like a far-fetched dream now, because when you lose, everybody thinks, no, it's never gonna happen. But I know myself. I know who I am.
mhm,
Especially once I
mhm.
come back, when I'm well prepared, I know nobody can beat me, and I'm
Mm.
sure of it. And once I come back, I just need to beat this guy, and I'll put him away. Then, yeah, win my fights and become the champion, and then we'll tell the story, and
Essentially,
it will be told
essentially
by
the
Seven
story
Bucks Production. Yes.
okay, the story is not done
Yeah.
yet. It's still cooking.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of
Uh,
everything that is happening, losing, sleeping at the T-Mobile Arena. It's part of the story, and it's part of the journey. It makes it the I always said my story is gonna be the greatest story in combat sports history,
mm.
and it's all based
Oh,
on
dude.
true,
Yeah, dude, your
on a
story,
true story.
yours. I've been saying this, and I'm sure you probably heard me say this. You and Francis Ngannou, because Francis Ngannou has like if you want to do a reality, a series, a show, you probably do
Yeah.
3 seasons, because like he's got like different parts. Like he struggled to get to Europe, he struggled to be a fighter, he struggled with the UFC brass, he struggled to get to Saudi, and his son passing and all of that. And then yours coming from like the land mines or the diamond mines out there in Zimbabwe, getting it to South Africa, which we know South Africa, those cities are very dangerous, and then making it to the EFC, and then the EFC being the biggest pinnacle of a mountain you can climb
Emotion.
in Africa.
Yeah.
Climbed that one, went to Middle East, went to America, and then obviously in the UFC now. And I agree with you. There's quite a lot left to be written, and I just want
Yeah.
to shine a light to the live chat. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sure Themba, these are your people. We've got Joash Chingwaru from Zimbabwe. Says we
Mhm.
love you, Themba, respecting us, representing us well.
Go to
Present
God.
law.
Thank you,
Uh,
Joel. Zimbabwe to the world. Yes, yes, yes,
we've
yes.
got Mishi Man. Oh boy,
M- No,
Mandimusira.
Mishi Mandimutsira.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that's Zimbabwe. That's
Apologies.
why I'm wearing Zimbabwe here.
Yeah.
Apologies, my Zimbabwe people. Yes, my Zimbabwe people, please do hit the like button. What are you guys doing? 85 people are watching and only 4 likes. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go. Demola, you've been quiet and I know you're itching to ask a question. Please go for it. I think Demola has
Looks like
stepped away.
he's on break.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, go for it.
Hi, Themba. It's a pleasure
Hello,
having
hello, Mark. How are you
you here.
doing?
I'm doing
Mark
good.
is our Nigerian brother based in Middlesbrough up here, up north, not
Where
in
is that boy
UK.
from Nigeria? The one that stayed in Nigeria?
Which one?
The
Demola.
singer.
Toby.
Yes, shame, man.
Yeah, Toby has, the internet StreamYard in Nigeria doesn't work very well. So like we struggled all the time. So we had to stop doing that. But Toby is still around. Demola,
Okay. When is
What's
he
sorry,
up,
coming
man?
to
Mark.
England?
Well, he keeps on saying soon. So I'm waiting to actually see him here.
Plug him with
Uh,
a visa. You know how it is.
bro, no be me be immigration. No. I try and help as much as I can. Mark, go for it.
I think my question is centered around the relationship with African fighters in the UFC. We've seen, of course, we had the three horsemen, Izzy, Kamaru, and Francis, but that era is gradually coming to an end, and we have new people. We have you. We have what's that? Is that Misasa? And
Mhm.
there's Kennedy Nzoka. There is a few. Sorry,
Chidi
what's the
Bam Bam.
Nigerian? Chidi.
Yeah.
There's Chidi. There's Sadiq. There's Sadiq as well. So
Yeah.
how is the
There's
relationship? Because
Drigas Duplessis.
there's Dricos,
Yes.
but
How dare you forget
there's a
Vickers?
reason. No,
How you
I
dare you forget our
it
tribal
was
chief?
it was intentional. Actually, it was
Tribal
very
chief.
intentional. There's a reason why I wanted to keep Dricos' name as the last one here,
No, no, no.
and it's
He's our
because
tribal chief right now. So you gotta bow
yes,
down
he
to our
is.
tribal
He
chief.
Yeah.
is.
Acknowledge.
But no, it's
You have to acknowledge him. He's the tribal chief right now.
yeah,
So
Dracos is number
everybody
one right now.
acknowledge
Respect to
him.
Dracos. But I want to ask though,
Acknowledge the tribal
because
chief.
this is not confirmed. This is just we saw some things flying here and there, especially about Dracos. When you talked about your last loss to Luque, Dracos tweeted something, right? He said some. Yes,
I
that's
can
why I wanted to keep Dracos' name as the last. It was intentional. So, what's happening there? Like,
Or was it?
or
I think
well,
was it the
I see where it's going. I was being nice. Now you want to be me, you want to make me to go mean now. No, I saw what he commented when I talked
Mean median
about
move.
my cousins laughing at me. Some of my cousins, not my cousins, some of my cousins laughing at me having lost whatsoever. And he took, like he finds ways to think that what he says is valid, especially in your weak moments. So like I had just lost a fight, and then he has something to say, and he thought that that was cool, and it's amazing that I stay in his head. He's a champion. I'm not a champion. Just tells me something about me. But at the end of the day, I appreciate when someone has got something so much to say about me, whereas we have never had a good, like me and Triggers never had a relationship. We only shared like moments where we train together on Thursdays. I would go to his gym and he would come to my gym, or we'll meet at the gym in 4 ways. And we just stopped training. We never had a problem with each other. And he, like, even when I go to the UFC, we are still talking, we're still messaging each other. I got upset when he said something about, oh, the only African that were in the UFC that lived and breathed the African air was himself and Cameron Simon, and that rubbed me wrong. And I addressed it and say, hey, that was not cool what he said. And I had a phone call. His coach called me and it's like for an hour, 30 minutes, who was also my coach for jiu-jitsu, and saying, like, trying to put me in a place where it's like, hey, you need to be like this. I'm not a guy who's put in a box by nobody, whether you are a billionaire, millionaire, and you cannot try to come and tell me how to live my life. And that way me and that coach relationship ended. So that was that. And I think from then, I think that's where the whole animosity thing came about, where um he said that, I said that, and for me, I say what's on my mind, and he said what's on his mind when he posted what he posted, and I kept quiet because I was in Russia. My mind was not okay. I was trying to get to training, and I had an injury that was so bad, which is I was telling you now about. And I had so much more other things to fix than to worry about this post. And now I'm fine, I'm healthy. I come back to this post and I'm like, hey bro, why you have so much so always to say about me whenever there is something? Is it because I got, let's say, the attention, like, because I spoke to him in the DMs. The I have the DM chats where I had me and Triggers. I think one of, yeah, I have the DMs, and I spoken to him in the DMs. He told me the reason, like, oh, you acting so poor, where everybody here in South Africa was willing to help you. I'm like, oh, hold up. Did I ever ask for help? Firstly, secondly, I never acted so poor. I just said I was broke. Shit happens. I didn't have money, um, and you feel like I should not have gotten this help from the Raw. I don't think that's a good sign of you being, whatever. So I think it all comes down to this attention thing. Like, I feel like the whole thing that I got, the attention that I got through Mr. The Rock whatsoever. I think this. Sorry, I'm just saying Mr. Mrs. these days. I say Mr. Sean Sharmin, whatever. Um, I think this rubbed a lot of people wrong. And he was one of them that was rubbed wrong. And I feel like he liked the attention more to himself than to others. And I got the attention here in America. A lot of people don't like me. So he's trying to paint the bad guy narrative so that people actually end up not liking me. And he tried to comment again recently on the Colby Covington thing, whereas he does not know nothing about the Colby Covington thing.
Yeah, we
Like,
were going to get to that. Yeah.
yeah. No, I want to just explain thing. Like, he does not know nothing about the Kobe Covington thing. People that know about the Kobe Covington, it's me, the coaches at MMA Masters, and Kobe Covington. And of course, I had said nothing but nice things about Kobe in the past. So straight away, if I go against Kobe, then it makes it look like I'm the bad guy, but he does not know shit about that. And after that, I had to fire back in a not so nice way, and I tell him that only if you know that how many people have told me that are on your team currently and in the past that you are racist, and does that mean you are racist? If you don't know the what actual person is, like, don't just go on the internet and rant. I'm not gonna go on the internet and say Drigas is like this just based on things that I had. You understand what I'm saying? So I answered him like that and he never came back. So I think I kept him quiet like that, and I think he must stay in his lane. I stay on my lane. He's a middleweight. I'm a welterweight. I was gonna move to middleweight, but unfortunately, my weight is now good. I'm healthy. I am now getting back into my path. So I think we don't have to have these dramas. We as Africans, if we know exactly how much it took for us to get here in these places, I think we all have to unite as Africans. This whole thing of dividing each other and not liking each other and not wanting each other to do well, and only the spotlight is on me, on me, on me, on me. It does not work, like, it's not good. But I mean, it is who we are, and I think it's a very bad thing that happens in Africa a lot. and it needs to stop, man. This whole thing needs to stop. We need, starting from me too, we need to stop this thing of creating these things that divide us, you know, because you know what? If we never unite, we never actually go any further. And this is a big disease in Africa, unfortunately. And whether it's black or white, whatsoever, we just need to be one as together. But it's actually harder said, harder. It's easier said than done. That's how I can say. You know, for me, I don't have anything against Drikas. I wish him nothing but the best. But based on his recent comments and whatsoever, I don't think he wishes that towards me. So I don't wish him nothing anymore. Just wish, you know, like I stay on my line, he says on his land, we don't have to interact.
Yeah.
All right.
But
This
the
is
other
not
African fighters, I'm cool with
yeah.
them.
It's no hate
Kamaru
towards Drake,
Usman,
by the
we
way.
talk. Manel Cup, we talk. Josiah is right here. Uh, Chidi Bang Bang is my brother. Everybody else, we are all cool. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that you and Usman are cool now. There was once upon a time, long time ago, you and Usman, there was a bit of a friction in the early days.
Nah, so the same stuff that Driga said, I also kind of said that in the past when I was still in the EFC. And coming back to it, I'll tell you, I went to Kamaru. He will tell you himself. I went to Kamaru, man to man. I said to, hey, bro, I'm sorry on what I said in that thing. I was just trying to get some, you know. And and he said to me, bro, like when the PI says, bro, I respect you man to man. You came to me and you tell me that, because I had messaged him in the DMs to say sorry. But before like the DMs, you can say sorry in the DMs, but you know, man to man is what's important. Like, look at each other in the eye and say, hey, bro, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I know this and this is not right. And I say this to Kamaru. And me and Kamaru, we're buddies. He gives me advice. We talk. Recently, I was telling him about my me wanting to move up to middleweight, and he says you have the frame. He was giving me advice, and then I saw him a couple of days later, and I told him, "Hey, bro, I did the test, and now my weight has gone down." And he's like, "Okay, and what is the plan? And you must decide, you know, what you want, not anyone else." I said, "Nah, I'm gonna stay at waterweight, and I think I'm a good waterweight." And he's like, "Yeah, I think you are a good waterweight too. I think the last fight was just a fight." So like we are cool. Me and Kamaru, we are cool. We, you know, like at the end of the day, you know, no matter what happens, we cannot change who we are. We are all Africans, and sometimes out of ignorance we say things. Sometimes out of hate or jealousy, whatever, we can say things that we may regret. And I think that moment when I won the EFC title and I said stuff about Kamaru and say, hey, Kamaru is like this, like this, I think that was not a very proud moment of my career. I had just won a title and I didn't need to do that. It rubbed me the wrong way for a longest period of time. And I think it rubbed him the wrong way. And I don't think it was necessary.
Yeah,
But
well, this is the first.
we're here now.
This is the first time you actually addressed it this way, and I like to hear that. I probably would clip this bit and post online. Um,
No.
no, because you
No, you
address
see,
you
this is why I don't
wait
like to do this interview, because you know what? You guys find
wait
clickbaits.
wait
This is my
Temba,
organ now. We
listen.
don't have to talk about the
Wait,
thing in the past. We actually moving
Oga,
forward.
Oga, here's the thing. A lot of people, right? They
Eh.
saw that video when you in the when you won the title, but they've not heard this part of it. So for you to say it like I did this
It does
and
not need to be
it
said
has.
to anybody. I just said it now. It stays here. Me and Kamaru know about it. We talk.
All right,
We friends.
let's talk about Colby Covington. I beg Demola
Yes,
no vex. I'll get
Mr.
to you,
Kobe.
Demola, but yes, let's talk about Colby.
Why
Yeah.
is chaos
Oh,
avoiding chaos?
wait. We'll get the answers from the answer. Don't worry. Wait.
What did you say?
Why
He
is
said, "Why
chaos
is chaos?
avoiding chaos?
Why is chaos avoiding chaos?" So
I don't know, bro. I'll be honest with you, Kobe. I don't know
wait,
what's.
Temba,
Yeah.
wait.
Mm-hmm.
MMA Masters, you and Kobe were all cool. We saw the videos. You guys were all fine. I don't know if you can get into it or how much
Were
details you
we
can get
really?
into it.
Were we really?
Well, it looked like that. It looked like that.
Yeah, I
There are
think I was
videos on your
trying to.
Instagram that's
You
still
know,
there.
like I'm a very friendly person. I try to make friends everywhere I go.
Mm,
I try to
mm,
be. I go over and above, and I just look back, and I'm like, we were never cool, me and this guy. It was just one sided,
mm,
me trying. But
mm,
yeah, that's why I was saying so much nice things. So in hopes that hey, bro, we can train together. Me and Kobe have never trained more than 4 times. We trained sparring light once, and we did conditioning session together, and we did hard sparring, and that was it. So like we have never trained more than 4 times together. So we did light sparring at the UFC. We did light sparring at the UFC fit, and the second time we trained together, me and Kobe, was conditioning with John. I think that's the video you guys saw and posted. The first one is that picture that we took. It was at the UFC fit. Second time was the conditioning session. I think it's in the video that one of my Instagrams. And the third
mm.
time, it's not anywhere else. It's this hard sparring, and this hard sparring was the trouble for for the whole thing. I think that's what was the beginning of the end because we sparred and Kobe was like, he spars well, like trying to make noise and scare me, and I was not scared. I was just like, okay, try to take me down. I sprawl him and I took him down. And then when we got up and I hit him, and for some reason I don't know what happened, his eye above the eye got cut and he was bleeding. And I said, hey, Kobe, you're bleeding. Then he went to the bathroom and he saw that he was bleeding. And then when he come back, he wants to spar again. I just said, "You are fighting, bro." He was getting ready. I think around the time that he was getting ready to try and fight Leon Edwards or something like
Mm.
that, around June or whatever. And I just said to him, "Bro, I'm not gonna continue sparring with you if you are like that." And he's like, "No, no, no, no problem." But I could see the intentions that when he went to bathroom to come back, he was like coming with more bad intentions than he had. But I just kind
Mm.
of like played it, and I think that was the last day we trained together. And now he has gone online. I've gone online and say what I said. I stand by my word. If I fight Kobe, I will kill him. I'm not
But
going to lie.
let me give context for those that don't know. Kobe is a streamer now, and he does streaming. That they call this type of streaming IRL streamers. That is in real life streamers. So they go around streaming and trying to make content, hoping something will be uh clickbait worthy or something will be like uh worthy to trend on the internet or whatever. That's the same thing that iShow Speed does and all those guys. So he was in the UFC PI. Correct me if I'm wrong, Temba. He was in the
Yeah, it was a
UFC
PI.
PI. Yeah, he was streaming. The camera was following him, and then he was about to enter one of the gyms, and then he quickly turned
He was
around and
about to
walked
enter
away.
the floor of the PI and he saw a ghost.
Oh, and then he saw Temba, and then turned around and walked away, and then he
No, no, no.
he
Don't
mumbled.
don't you have to put the words to it. He was shocked, his eyes wide open and ran and said, "Did you see who we saw?" And whispered.
Yeah, okay, okay, fine. I quote, this is what he said. He said, Kobe said, it's that guy that we used to feed or
The
something. I don't know.
ungrateful MF we used to feed.
Mm.
And yeah, that's great. Amazing. He used to feed me.
Why,
I
why, why do you think he reacted like that, Temba?
That was bad for him because you know what happened? Like that video that he made, I think he forgets sometimes he's acting or whatsoever. Then he made that video. It made me like
Mm.
when the big bosses would see that video, they will straight away see a narrative that they can go with. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? We are in the storytelling business of fighting, and we so happen
TKO
to be in the
business.
same division. He's on his way
Yeah.
out, and I'm still on my way up. And like he did me a favor by doing that video. If I have to be honest, Kobe did me a favor by doing that video because I kind of like was in like limbo of where I was going in terms of like who I should fight and whatsoever. And now I know I'm fighting a good fight for me. And after this, I know it's Kobe or somebody else, and then Kobe. I'm not going to go to the top without passing through Kobe. And it's gonna be a good payday when I get there. In
Wait,
terms of
wait,
like,
wait,
hopefully,
yeah. So
I get in
so
the ranking. I get in the
Yeah.
ranking, maybe like my idea is like I'm not naive about what I need to do. I'm not gonna get a ranked
Mm,
guy next. I mean,
mm,
mystery maybe if I don't know, but I fought a ranked guy last and I lost. I was on a 4-fight winning streak, so I'm gonna
mm,
fight somebody. Um, beat them the way I think I will, and then I know for a fact because I think we will nullify that loss to Luque. It was a loss, but once I go and do the damage I did, I'm on a 5-fight winning streak, not 4-fight
mm,
winning streak, not 1-fight winning streak, and then I will deserve my shot in the top 15 on a full camp, whether it's who MVP, whatever. I don't care. But for
mm,
now, my focus is the next guy, and I have to go out there and put him out. I have to finish this guy, and it's
mm,
a must for me to go out there and finish this guy. I'm not here to go and play anymore. The world is
mhm,
mean. I have to. Last fight was a reminder of what I need to do. You know.
mm,
So I go out there and I do my job. I know that
mm,
I'll be in a position where I can get a ranked guy. Who knows? Maybe Kobe might fight on the same card. He loses, and then now he's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's forced to fight whoever they say he must fight. So
mm.
we never know what the future holds. But I think he started a story and created a narrative, and that does me a favor, not him.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. He started the narrative or this thing favored you, but however, your response was kind of like a bit too respectful, in my opinion. Right? It
Yeah, you
was
play the
like the
game. I have to still keep
calm,
myself.
calm headed. We got the calm headed Themba, even though we know Themba can be vicious when he wants to be.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be vicious
So
when I want to be, but
so
I know that I'm not
but
in a
but
position where
I feel like you could there was like a room to kind of like stir it up to become more than
no,
one-sided.
no.
I feel
The
like
room is coming.
there's a
When I do my job in my next fight, the room is coming. I'm not naive. I'm not
yeah.
gonna waste. Like when you post this post, when I post this post, when I put out whatever I put out, you must remember I'm putting out energy. So if I
Mm,
put my real response and my energy in that put whatever I post back, that means that I have to be invested in that. So I don't want to be invested
mm,
in the Kobe thing because I know
mm,
that's not what next for me. What's next for me is something else, not Kobe story. So for now, I'm not invested in that. I don't want to overlook who I'm fighting next, and I never do that, and I'll never do that. I will respond, however, when I get that
mm.
mic
Yes.
because
I
that's
cannot
what.
wait for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the big
So
promo of all promos. All right.
yes, it will be
Demola
probably a
has not
nice,
had
nice promo, but I will respond then. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
as
that's
for now,
perfect.
you have to focus on what's next. What's next? Like who knows? I would love maybe one day to take Kobe to Africa and take him on a ride.
Talk
Love
about
the
fight night
accent.
in Africa with a main event of Colby Covington versus Themba Gorimbo. Take my
No,
money.
Themba Gorimbo versus
Dem-
Colby Covington.
okay, let's swap the A side and B side now. All right. Demola, you've been quiet for a while, and I know you want to ask a question. Go for it before we react to UFC London.
Okay, okay, that's fine. And of course, I hope that fight between Themba Gorimbo and Colby Covington happens in Rwanda. I hope I'm manifesting that.
We
Uh,
manifest
Amen, my
that. We
brother.
receive. We receive. But I don't know if
Eh,
UFC. I don't know. Rwanda is still a very good possibility from what I heard.
very good fighters,
But
actually. They have great
yeah, I can't
facilities.
say anything. Let me hear your
Okay,
question.
let's leave it. Yes.
I've done my research, and of course, they have great facilities. The only drawback is the fact that they don't have that, MMA culture in that part of the world, and of course, they don't have MMA. Would I say MMA stars? Yeah, let's put it that
No,
way.
Rwanda
Yeah,
does not need to have. Rwanda is a. When they go to Qatar, does Qatar have a star from MMA? When they go to Abu Dhabi,
Exactly.
does
they
Abu
they
Dhabi
don't.
have a
Yeah,
star from MMA?
they don't. Yeah.
When they go to Saudi Arabia, does Saudi has a thing? It's about who pays. And I think
Exactly.
from what I heard, Rwanda is
Hey,
willing to pay.
hey, hey,
Yeah,
let's
they
leave it.
pay, and of course they have the facilities. They brought the NBA and some other
Demola, get to
top
your
guys.
question. Get
But
to your question,
my
Demola.
question
Yes.
is about somebody who's in the building with us, but of course off camera. I am very very big on Africa, and I love Africa so much. I believe very much in a certain guy called Josiah Musasa, and Jibril would attest to it that I've actually been following his
He's
career
cooking, this guy.
right from his time on the Dana White Contender Series. Right, I live in London, England. I am always up in the night, to follow the career path and trajectory. I was really, really high on his hype. But this last fight showed that there are actually certain things to learn um, on the way to the top. There is a book that says, that's titled Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. So, my question to you is, since he's actually close to you, how is it taking that loss, right? And what are you guys doing to encourage him to turn it around? And of course,
I
as a bump.
think Josiah is a very good coach in what's his name? Your dad.
Yeah, Dad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I call him coach. You gotta have to respect people that are older than you. And he does not speak English, so
Mhm.
he's here for the time being because he's sorting out some stuff for him.
Okay.
Then he's gonna go back to Congo. But what do you call it? I think he is fine. He, like he's French speaking, so I think he's fine. He is okay. He spends time on his phone speaking to his family in Congo, and uh, like now he's cooking. I will taste this food for the first time that he cooks, but you know. I think from what I see, I think he's fine. He wants to fight soon, but he's just has some stuff that he needs to sort out first before, because like I don't think he just got caught. And that guy that he
Hmm.
fought, I mean,
Carlos Vera.
yeah, it
Carlos
was,
Vera. Yeah.
it was
He's
a
quite
very,
more experienced. Yeah, I was surprised
yeah.
with the
I
matchup.
think
Yeah.
this is the mistake the UFC has been making. I mean, I don't know, in the past few months, of making the, I think
Young
guys
guys
that fight veterans
fight.
and a lot of, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
we've seen a lot of 10 years gap in opponents recently.
yeah. No, what I'm saying is like the, like coming here, you need to. I think debut is good. Debut on debut is good. But you know what? This was a very good fight for Josiah. He just got caught and it's unlucky. But the spotlights of the UFC, they're very different. From my opinion, I know it. I felt it on my first fight in the UFC. Some people overcome it very well, and some people don't. Uh, but you know what? This is the UFC. This is the top of the top. So most people that became champions in the UFC lost their debut. Leon Edwards, Amagomed Angalaev, Marab, all these guys, they've lost their debuts. And I think it does not define who Josiah is. I think he's young and he's gonna learn from this. And his coach also is gonna learn from this. He's gonna learn from this. And I think he's gonna, what was the question there? I saw a question.
You just said nice question from
No,
Ademola.
no,
Yeah.
And
that's
there's
yeah.
No, so I think he's gonna learn from this. He's young enough to learn from this. I think Josiah is inside
He's
there.
26 years old, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's gonna learn
26.
from
Yeah.
this, and I think he's gonna. Oh, there's nothing. I think it's there, downstairs. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think he's gonna learn from this, and he's gonna grow from this, both himself and his coach. And yeah, man, I think as a person, losses can be like me coming from a loss. I know I can tell from my experience, losses can hurt you. And from what I see him, I think it's not even hurting him much. He knows that he made a
Mhm.
mistake and he knows he's gonna fix it. He was the better
Yeah.
fighter in that fight.
Exactly. He did clip Carlos Vera, and Carlos
Yeah,
Vera did. He
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 was the
said it.
better fight.
He
He was
felt
the
it.
better fighter
Yeah.
on paper. He was the better fighter on that fight, but it was just not his
Yeah.
day to win.
I
So
think
it
I
was his
think in
day
the
to lose.
in the Yeah, in the odd makers, the matchmakers, he
He was
was
a
the
favorite.
biggest
Mhm.
favorite in the whole of that card. He was like a minus 500. Yeah, so we are going to react to UFC London, but before we do,
Yes.
Mark, I'm conscious of time. We only have Themba for the next 10 minutes because I will round up in an hour. Uh, Mark, ask your follow up question and then we react to the main event from
No,
yesterday.
no, I think it's me. It's me.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
Buka,
just wanted
sorry.
to ask. Yeah, Themba was. You were talking about the matchmaking. Matching people debut versus debut and all that. So I just wanted to understand a bit more how it works. So in
In
terms of
Giribo.
someone like Musasa, who is just new to the
Fine.
UFC, right?
Check here.
Is
Everywhere.
oh, he's just gone past there. Is it a situation where maybe they offer him a fight and then he can say, no, I don't want that fight, or I want this
No,
other
when you
person,
are
or
starting, you can't choose your
especially
fights. When
oh
I
right,
think
okay,
I think
You need to have
they
leverage.
yeah, like
yeah.
you there's also like there's privilege, but there's very privilege, like there's privilege
And a white
in,
privilege, isn't it?
I
The
think
type that
so, but
Yeah.
it does not.
Adesanya has.
There's nothing.
Mm.
I think the privilege here, Josiah, yeah, nothing. I think the privilege is not does not apply. Oh, there is the plate. You're looking for the plate, right? Oh, use that one. Sorry, guys, I'm talking to Josiah. He's cooking. Um,
Yes. No matter Anderson says Wama Ndepi.
the EP no matter what they say, saying on all my. No, so like what there is privilege. There's privilege and there's not like sometimes you have to fight who you are told to fight, and like yeah, like you are told who you are going to fight and you fight. Like myself too, I get told who I have to fight, and I can say no or yes, but they don't force you to fight, but you take the fight that you are given because you know, if you are here, you believe that you can beat anybody, and whoever that they put in front of you, you have
Mhm.
to fight. But however, like also they can navigate you, so
Yeah.
it's
All right, Temba, let's talk
Mm.
about your division. I'm conscious of time. Let's talk about your division real quick. All right.
Mhm.
Yesterday, there was a bit of a movement because, like, the top of that welterweight division is very slow to move around. But yesterday, something happened. The thing that happened is that one Leon Edwards, which I know you are very cool with, uh, collected a defeat in the hands of Sean Brady, which was satisfying for me to see because I'm not a fan of Leon Edwards for obvious reasons. I'm Nigerian.
1887. Yes, 1887.
What are your thoughts about the top of that division right now?
1887 is the code. Thank you. Sorry, guys.
What? Yeah, so I was saying, what are your thoughts about the top of the welterweight division right now
Yes,
after
that
what
was
we
a
saw
tough
last
fight.
night?
I think Leon fighting Sean Brady. I think was a very tough matchup for Leon because Sean Brady fights similar ways with Palau Muhammad and coming off a loss. Um, so coming off a loss to Balal Muhammad, going straight into a fight where he was supposed to fight a striker in Jack Della Maddalena, and so that way he has to fight a guy that has the same style as the guy that previously beat him. I think that was not. I think yeah, he was in a position of. I mean, he gets paid a lot of money, so I think that plays a major factor in taking those fights as well. But I think that was not a smart move to fight Sean Brady, especially if you were scheduled to fight Jack Della.
A different
Uh,
style, innit?
Mm.
a different style and the same style that has beaten you in your previous
Mm.
fight. And that's why I think Sean Brady made this good adjustment and did what he did.
Yeah,
I
so
think it was a hard matchup for Leon. And I think people are starting to figure out Leon. I don't know why. It's almost like people have started to figure out Leon and what's his name? Adesanya. And these are my brothers, but like, I think like people the only guy that it's hard to figure out right now who has been on the top for a very long time is
John Jones,
uh
innit?
no, it's
Easy.
John Jones. and it's Camaro. But do you see the pattern here on how they figure these guys out? The pattern I'm looking at is like these guys are strikers, strikers. Leon, yes, can grapple, can wrestle, but his forte or whatever you call it is
He's
his
pure
striking.
striker.
He's a pure striker, and he needs his distance. And if you see all the guys that are beating him, they're crushing that distance, and they able to like they like take two to give one if they have to, And I think that's the same guys. That's the same kind of style that they're doing. The guys are doing with Adesanya, because when you're at the top for a very long time, guys try to figure you out and stuff, and that's why like guys are crushing that space and just going. It's not like Sean Brady was a better striker than Leon, but Leon needed his space to do his striking, and we like it's hard to be at the top for a very long time in this sport, unless you are a wrestler. Because when you're a wrestler, you can always evolve in terms of like, okay, cool. Now that wrestler is becoming a striker. But if you are a striker to stay at the top for a very long period of time, it's very difficult. I think. Look at like Angalaev and Alex Pereira. Uh, like he is a good striker, but like for him to beat this guy Angalive again will be very hard, I would say, because I think the next time Angalive might even knock him out, if I have to be honest, because that wrestling best and jiu-jitsu best always, I think, is the strongest best to have. I think I'll be answering a question of the person that was in the DMs. Yeah, I think to have strong wrestling and strong jiu-jitsu um, is the best to have in MMA because it's sustainable for a very long period of time. One, why? Because you don't take too many shots in your career if you have this best.
But one will
Strike.
say, but one will argue that it's boring. What would you say about
Oh
that?
yeah, I mean it's boring if you are just a. I mean if you think it's boring, then I don't know. Was Sean Brady boring to you, or was he just boring to the English fans because their guy was losing?
Well, good one. What did
Yeah.
wait Demola and Ebuka were in the stands yesterday. What is the answer to Temba's question?
Josiah, put it back. It's hot.
Yeah,
Don't
Sean
put it
Brady
here.
wasn't
the
actually
Josiah,
boring.
don't put it
He
here.
wasn't boring. Ebuka, I don't know what you think.
yeah. No, at all. It wasn't. Some of the English guys that were close to us were picked because obviously people could see who's going to win. They knew
Yeah.
that Brady would win, and they picked Brady to win. Some of them that put money on him as well, just
Yeah.
like some of us did. We actually won. So
And we
yeah,
left happy.
and yeah, it is what it
All right,
is.
still
It's a fight
in
game.
the chat. Marai Manungo says all the way with you behind Themba, Zimbabwe.
You see, I
And
brought you Zimbabwean fans.
say, Adesanya both legends. Shout out to our Zimbabwe people. So
But I've got one question though regarding the wrestling base. Because when you look at someone like Belal, for example, that is a champion, he doesn't necessarily have good jiu-jitsu. So I guess that's why people might find it a bit boring when
No.
all you do.
He has good top game.
But his submission record is not really there.
Yeah, because I think he prefers to be dominant than like I think there's a balance that you have to have. You have to go for like, of course, if you're a wrestler, it's great, but you see, like the wrestling between Khabib and Islam. Which one would you prefer to have? You want to have the Islam type of wrestling because he has got the ground where he's going for attacks all the time and he's able to be confident enough to take risks that he can recover and be back on top if he has to. And I think this is where the balance is like with Balao, I think he likes to be in the dominant positions all the time. I also feel the same thing when I'm fighting, that I like to be in certain positions and less taking risks. But like yeah, I think the minute let's say Balao start taking risks, going for submissions and stuff, like people will find him very exciting. Just like Marab.
Yeah, True. But Merab, at least we can understand Merab because of his cardio and his personality. That's why people can still then like enjoy Merab in a way. But for someone like
I don't
Bilal,
think
I mean,
I think, like we are in a sport where it's trend line. I think there's trends and whatsoever, and people want to. I think people like the cool guys. People like the good looking guys. People like the handsome guys. People like you know. And I think the trend of the current champions is not this, except one or two. You know.
Except one or two. Who are the one or two?
no, yeah, I
Uh,
guess maybe to
no, no, no. Then the guys will think. I mean, I'm not saying the guys are like I'm not a good looking guy, so I know for sure. Um, but people, you know what people like, and you know what they don't like.
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't
Mhm.
know. We don't know.
Okay, cool. Who's your favorite fighter?
Themba Gorimbo. He
No,
does not fight. He doesn't fight. He's not an ugly guy.
no, no. Who's your favorite fighter?
My
He's
favorite
the
fighter.
president of Israel Adesanya
After
fan
Israel
club.
Adesanya. After
Thank you. So
Izzy.
how does Israel dress? How does Israel does his nails? Looks good, right?
The only reason why he's my favorite is because he's from the same state in Nigeria as me. Finish.
And he
And of
fights
course,
beautifully. He
I'm
fights.
a
He fights as
Nigerian.
a striker, but that is not sustainable. I think personally because it's good, but as long as someone can touch you and hold you, and wrestling takes a good striker to an average striker, and the longer you do more wrestling, you take that very good striker to average to a below average striker, and then most of the MMA wrestlers are not very good strikers, but they are average strikers.
Hmm.
And they are wrestling takes your striking to average and below average, and then they shine above you. They can outstrike. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm,
Hmm.
yeah.
Mm.
So I think wrestling is the equalizer of all this. Like you need to have a good, strong base of being able to go to the ground if you have to go to the ground whenever you can.
All right. Let me ask you something. You're very cool with Chidi Bang Bang, right? We've seen also another person enter this welterweight division and is also on a winning streak. We saw Kevin Holland yesterday. And Chidi
Hmm.
Bang Bang, we saw him last week. What are your thoughts about all these middleweights coming down to welterweight and putting on a winning streak?
Yeah, I mean, Chidi is we are around the same size
Mm.
as Chidi. Actually, funny enough, I eat pairs with his brother. And
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony. Yes, yes, yes. So I think his style was not good for middleweight.
Mm.
Do you understand? Because the guys will always be bigger than him at middleweight,
Yeah.
and he was middleweight is a division where it's like I think there's more strikers than it's a I think so. The guys, most of them, they are like now this new stream of thing, but like outside of the top thing, they if you are a striker at middleweight, you are in trouble because I think the guys that you fight are gonna be actually maybe superior strikers or just bigger wrestlers and grapplers. And I think this has been the issue there. And I think at welterweight he's got the luxury to fight guys that are smaller than him, and he can actually decide what he wants. He can grapple if he wants with them, or he can strike if he wants with them because he has those two luxuries. And I think same applies as Kevin Holland. He said it after the fight straight that the middleweights are big, and they just if they hold him and it's done. And I think this is the difference with these two guys coming down to waterweight. Is there more midweight that should come to waterweight? I don't know. I think weight cutting is not very fun.
It's not at all. All right, guys, I think I'm going to put an end to this. Now we've spent an hour and Temba has spent most of the time talking. So I'm going to let Temba go and eat Musasa's delicious delicacy that he made. Good luck with that, Temba. Um, you guys,
Yes, bruh.
you got yes. So we've learned a lot of things. Temba dropped a lot of dimes for us. We know that Themba is gearing to come in June, and we know he's not fighting Colby Covington in June. So,
Nah. I'm fine. I don't
so
know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who I'm fighting, but I think, yeah, I know who I'm fighting, but I don't know who I'm fighting.
okay, all right. Well, Ebuka, thank you. Demola, thank you. Mark, thank you so much for joining. And last but not least, certainly Themba, we really, really appreciate your time.
Thank
Really,
you,
really
guys.
appreciate it.
Bless you.
Send our regards to Themba, to Josiah
Musasa.
Musasa. All right, ladies and
No
gentlemen,
problem.
thank you. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all the good stuff for us. We really, really appreciate it.